Hello everyone, it's Myung-Jan. Today I am going to read S6 6059 Butterfly Battle, Chapter 5. We rested in the sun for a while to get our energy back. The team flew up in the air. Let's get going. He called down to the rest of us. Ralphie, get ready to be rescued, chimed in Wanda. Can't we have a quick lunch first? Said Carlos. I'm starved. Yeah, a nice juicy burger sounds good, said Arnold. With lots of fries. With butterflies, need flower power, Arnold. The kind of food we eat comes from flowers. I'm dreaming of some milkweed nectar. Now that you mention it, I would love some daisies, said Wanda. And what I wouldn't do for some honeysuckle, Carlos chimed in. Picky, picky. That's how we butterflies are, said D.A. I will be looking for passion flowers. I say we look for a garden, said Keisha. That way we can all find something we want to eat. So off we went in search of a garden. It must have taken a wrong turn somewhere, though, because we were suddenly flying over a city. Everywhere we looked, there were huge buildings in our way. We couldn't see any grass, and there were only a few trees. There wasn't a flower in sight. The birds aren't the only danger for butterflies, said Miss Frizzle. When buildings and parking lots go up, they don't leave much room for fields and gardens. A butterfly can get mighty hungry. I don't think I can go on any longer. Me neither, said Keisha. Her wings were drooping, and she looked like she was fluttering in slow motion. All of us were feeling so weak and hungry. We were about ready to drop. Don't give up, said Miss Frizzle. When the going gets tough, the tough keep fluttering. Who said butterflies were tough? They are tougher than you think, said Freeze. Remember what Peter said. Butterflies have survived for millions of years. Dinosaurs have been extinct for a long time, but we butterflies are still around. That didn't really make us feel much better, but when she said, think of Ralphie, we knew we couldn't give up. Look down there, shouted Carlos. Flowers. Carlos was right. We were flying over a park. We all landed and headed straight for the kinds of flowers we needed. Somehow, no one had to tell us. We all just knew where to go. But before anyone had a bite, or should I say a sip, Miss Frizzle yelled, Stop! Don't touch another thing in this park. Let's get out of here fast. As tired and hungry as we are, we followed the Freeze. What happened, Miss Frizzle? Why can't we feed from the flowers? Look at that truck down there, Miss Frizzle answered. See how it's spraying stuff all over the park. That's insecticide. Insecticide. She told us that insecticide is a mixture of chemicals used to kill insects, so they won't bother people or destroy plants. And we are insects, right? Yes, I'm afraid we are. We are lucky we got out of there alive. Look, now that is the biggest garden I have ever seen. Let's go check it out. Maybe we'll get some lunch after all. As we got closer to the huge garden Wanda had spotted, we saw a sign that read, City Botanical Garden and Wildlife Preserve. We were really in luck. The garden was big and beautiful, with almost every kind of flower you can imagine. A special part of the garden was called the Butterfly Garden. The flowers there had been planted especially to attract all kinds of butterflies, so that people could enjoy looking at them. Have a lovely lunch, class, said Miss Frizzle, heading straight for the milkweed in my old school. We had milk lunch, not milkweed, but I followed right behind her anyway. Soon we felt like ourselves again. Well, not exactly like ourselves. After all, we're still butterflies. But before long, the Ralphie Rescue Squad was off and flying again. Chapter 6. It didn't take us long to find Ralphie. There was plenty of toad flags at the botanical garden, and the red baseball cap made Ralphie stand out. None of the other caterpillars was wearing a hat. We settled on the flowers and called out, "Hey, Ralphie, it's us. It's about time," said Ralphie. "I thought I was one cooked caterpillar." "What happened?" said Keisha. "As soon as I left Butterfly Land, a bird swooped down and picked me up in its beak. I was just lucky that I got dropped here instead of swallowed." "Though you must say you got here by airmail," said Carlos. "The problem is we have to get back to the safety of Butterfly Land before something really terrible happens." "But how are we going to get Ralphie back?" asked Tim. "He can't fly and he's too heavy to carry. Besides, if we tried, we might squash him. Miss Frizzle always says that if you think hard enough about a problem, you'll come up with a solution. So I made a suggestion. Let's go over what we have learned about caterpillars and butterflies. Maybe we'll come up with an idea." I said. "Everyone say one thing we have learned. Butterflies are insects." "We know the difference between a moth and a butterfly," said Wanda. "We know that caterpillars turn into butterflies," said Keisha. "Bingo," said Keller. "That's it. Ralphie isn't a butterfly yet, but he will be. According to my research, it could take a very long time. Ralphie could spend weeks as a caterpillar and more weeks as a chrysalis." "That's true, but maybe the little bit of pink powder that got on Ralphie could make this all go faster than usual. How many times have you molted so far, Ralphie?" "There, if I remember correctly," Ralphie answered. "Now that you mention it, my skin feels kind of tight right now. I think I'm ready to molt again." That was good news because it meant that soon Ralphie would become a chrysalis like the ones Peter showed us at Butterfly Land, and that meant he would be one step closer to being a butterfly. Keisha was right. The pink powder had put Ralphie on fast forward. Just then things got really strange. Ralphie started looking nervous. He crawled off his leaf and into a pile of dead branches. Next thing we knew, he was hanging upside down from a twig. He spun a little pad of silk on the twig, was holding onto it with his two real legs. Soon he started wiggling around like crazy. Then his skin split right in two just behind his head. "Ouch, that must really hurt," said Arnold, but Miss Frizzle told us that it didn't hurt Ralph at all. He had to get out of that old skin so he could start turning into a butterfly. The skin split some more and started to come off. Finally, it was all dried and bunched up right where Ralphie's abdomen was attracted to the twig. Ralphie that came out of the skin looked completely different, not like his old caterpillar self at all. Now he was a chrysalis. He had no legs or spine, no orange or blue spine. He was a brownish grayish color. Ralphie did something amazing. He twisted and turned until his body was completely free of the old skin. To do that, he had to let go of his silk pad for a second, hold on to the old skin that was still stuck to the twig, and then reattach himself to the twig next to the old skin. "Nice gymnastic, Ralphie," Keisha called out. But Ralphie wasn't listening. He just hung there in his brown shell, which was getting hard and dry. Easy. Arnold was afraid Ralphie was dead, but when I reminded him of what we had learned at Butterfly Land, he felt better. Still, it was weird to see Ralphie just hanging there. After a while, the old skin dried up, fell to the ground inside his shell. We knew that Ralphie's body was slowly changing. He was growing wings then, and everything he would need to be a butterfly. Now, there was nothing left for us to do but wait. Chapter 7. According to my research, the DA, the chrysalis was split open near Ralphie's head in Butterfly Land. "Ralphie will come out. I hope it happens soon," said Arnold. "Sooner that chrysalis splits, the sooner we can split out of here and back to Butterfly Land. At least they don't allow birds in there." Waited and waited and waited, and then it happened. Chrysalis split open. Tim got so excited. He started describing what was happening as if he were a sports announcer. "The opening in the chrysalis is getting bigger. And what do we see? It's round and black. Is it? Yes, it is. It's a head, folks, a round black head, and it's wearing a red baseball cap. And now Ralphie is pushing with all his strength. Can he do it? Can he get his whole body out of the chrysalis?" Come on, Ralphie, we all shouted, cheering him on. Then Tim started announcing again. What's coming out next, folks? It's the antenna, and now for the wing. They are coming out. They are out. And Ralphie is free of the chrysalis. But wait a minute. Tim sounded worried. Look at those wings. They are hanging down, all wet and crumpled up. Is something wrong? Well, said Miss Frizzle. Tim pretended he was holding a microphone up to the freeze. He was really getting into this announcer thing. Nothing's wrong. Butterflies' wings have to be crumpled up like that. They would never fit inside the chrysalis soon. Ralphie will pump a liquid from his body into the veins in his wing. That'll make the wings stretch out straight. And they will dry out. Thank you, Miss Frizzle. She is right, folks. These wings are starting to straighten out right now. And look at this. Ralphie is taking his first steps as a butterfly. Way to go, Ralphie. Soon Ralphie's wings dried out, just like Miss Frizzle said they would, but the first time he tried to fly, he fell back down in the grass. Don't worry, Ralphie's new at this, but he'll learn. Let him try, and then he will fly. Ralph climbed up the stem of a large flower and rested on top of the flower for a few minutes. Are you getting energy from the sun, Ralphie? One asked him. Ralphie was still too weak to answer. Then the announcer took over again. He started moving his wings up, down, folks, and there he goes, up, 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 into the wild blue yonder. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Ralphie yelled. Wow, that was awesome, said Ralphie. Then he asked, hey, how do I look? What kind of butterfly am I? You're mostly brown with orange stripes and eye spots on all four of your wings. I told him, you look very nice. Remember the butterfly just like from my field guide. The Buckeye butterfly. I told him I thought he was a Buckeye. Now that we are all butterflies, let's get back to Butterfly Land before we are all toast. Is everyone ready? Asked Miss Frizzle. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, flutter. We took off into the air. Butterfly Fritz and all 8 of us butterfly kids together at last. But getting back to Butterfly Land wasn't as easy as we thought it would be. Suddenly, instead of fluttering along, we were swirling and tumbling around in the air, completely out of control. What's going on? shouted Wanda. I feel like I'm on a roller coaster, yelled Ralphie. But I'm not having any fun. I didn't know what had hit us, but I agree with Ralphie. This was no fun at all. Then I heard Keisha's voice as she swept past me. It's the wind, really strong wind. Her voice trailed off, so I couldn't hear anymore. But I saw her go walling out of sight. Tried to follow Keisha, but it was no use. Strong gusts of wind had swept us up and was tossing us around in the air like dry leaves in a hurricane. I was feeling kind of seasick, airsick, I guess. When the wind finally died down, I settled on the branch of a tree and waited for the others. The first to land next to me was the freeze. That was a scary experience, Miss Frizzle. Learning experience, Phoebe. Now we know how dangerous wind can be for butterflies. I've heard that one hurricane can temporarily wipe out the whole butterfly population of a small tropical island. That's very interesting, I said, still feeling a little sick. I didn't want to hurt the Freeze feeling, but I was glad that the learning experience was over. Freeze actually looked like she was enjoying herself. Sometimes she gets a little carried away. This time we all got carried away, for real. We waited until the rest of the kids joined us. Then we took off again, looking for somewhere we could rest. The wind had carried us, of course, so we had to land in a park. It looked safe. Little did we know what was in store for us. We had battled birds, buildings, insecticides, and wind, and now we're about to fight the biggest battle of our butterfly lives. The end.